social track, Wasta. Do I say it right? Right.
Thank you. Don't mind the fro. So my name is Mike Bayyouk. I'm going to talk about my company, Wasta. For the past 8 years, I've been an educator and a traveler. I've taught in South Bronx, I've taught in Texas, I've taught in Laos and Japan. Now I'm back in Northern Virginia teaching here and pursuing my second master's degree in education at George Mason. One of the most remarkable and rewarding experiences I had as an educator was taking a Fulbright grant to teach English in Laos. It was there I was able to help most of my students get into international scholarships and grants in environments where they can propel themselves and change their trajectory and access a lot. And that's where I realized one big thing, that English is king. In developing countries, English empowers people to access opportunities in employment and for education. With this realization came another one, that technology cannot solve all our problems. There needs to be a unison, there needs to be a balance of tech with best teaching practices. Education has been around for thousands of years. We have learned things. Technology cannot solve all things, but it also enables. Together, this is at the heart of what Wasta is. Wasta is a mobile education platform that does two things. We customize lesson content for the country that we serve, and we establish and we facilitate small group learning in person. So there are three parts of this app that I'm going to talk about with you today, since I'm limited on time. The first part is digital matchmaking. Digital matchmaking is a huge trend now. Digital matchmaking is an intermediary for a lot of our human relations in our modern time. We use it a lot. We're going to use this with a third party, actually the founders are here today, Scribe, who are going to provide the algorithms to take the input that we find, which includes proficiency, preference, and other figures to create optimal learning groups. Oh, so disappointed. Okay. So, and then the second part, we have independent self-study groups. This is where the curriculum that I've already developed is going to be given and delivered to the learners, and they will study this on their own privately. The final part is what I like to call the learning CrossFit part, where they engage in a group and they're encouraging, they're recording their responses, they're exploring the language within the lesson content that they just studied on their own. So again, we differentiate from our competitors in three ways. We have localized content, we do blended learning, and through our social groups and the community that we're going here, we're really building something where people are exchanging knowledge and interacting. Let's talk about our market segments here of where I'm going in Laos. We have the consumer segment, we have the educational institution, I'm kind of blocking the NGO part right here. So then we have the company corporate, and then we have non-governmental, governmental, and NGO and NPO organizations. We're going to focus on the consumer segment for now. We have three revenue streams we're going to focus on: premium membership, in-app purchases, and advertisements in the target language of the students that they're are learning. So imagine they're getting advertisements based on their preference, but also it's an opportunity for them to practice the language that they're learning. Here's a very overly simplified one transaction of a premium membership. We're going to charge $18 per user per month. Scribe has given me the quote of $9 per user per month. And our gross profit will be $9, and we will reinvest that into marketing, product development, and our employees. I would like to say, when I taught in Laos, I charge $20 an hour, and I know this figure is doable. Here's a timeline. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to have a minimal viable product that I'm going to do without an app. As an educator and facilitator, I'm going to go through and lead these groups, and we will take this knowledge and we will tinker with the learning objectives and really develop something that we hope to launch end of this year in the capital city of Vientiane, or capital city of Laos. We're going to measure our impact in two ways: the number of awards and scholarships from YSEALI, which is a prominent US-run organization in the ASEAN area, and the number of English proficiency test scores that increase and attempts of people that take it. The team includes myself, an educator with 8 years, Iman Fali, Carnegie Mellon graduate. She works in Morocco, and Scribe, a diverse, eclectic group of entrepreneurs, founders that have the experience and know-how to scale an industry. Thank you. Questions?
Can you actually outline your competitors? Like, from where I sit, this is a hugely saturated market, and so maybe I'm missing something about what's so unique, but yeah, that's
okay, yeah, I had this backup slide for that. So, where I find a lot of people, normally finally here. Well, just a quick question. Can I ask a question back to your question? Who here has used Duolingo before? Who here is proficient in that language that they use Duolingo for? Okay. Well, one out there. But that's my point. A lot of these are great. They give you the content procedurally. They feed it to you. Okay, hello, how are you? Have you had lunch? But where is the competency? Where is the learning? Where is the actual conversation happening? And I find some are actually focusing just on conversation, but they're not including the structure. They're not including the best teaching practices. They're just trying to have conversation. So where I find Wasta is we're up here, and we're really doing something, I think, new and special.
Is your hope to grow this like globally in lots of different countries, or are you looking more at an exit strategy that has you being acquired by one of the less effective firms you mentioned?
No, not at all. I don't want to be acquired at all. I find this, as an educator, I would love to change education or be a factor or an accelerator in this. And the plan is to scale this. What I'd like to do is I want to do almost like a one-for-one, where we focus on developed, mature markets like Japan or China, which are very high in revenue, and then we take those profits and proceeds and we support developing countries like in Cambodia, Myanmar, they also have very high growth rates as well.
Well, I guess that's where my question went. There are going to be markets who are more willing to pay this rate than other, and also have the ability. So are you planning a nonprofit partner foundation, or how do you plan to go into some of these countries where the $18 user rate will not be attainable?
So, as I said, when I first went to Laos, I was a Fulbright volunteer, and our point of contact is the U.S. Embassy. I've received 2 grants from them already. They offer small grants. They also have an American English Center where they provide free courses for those users, for any Lao people that come in. My goal, and I do know the current ambassador there, I've met with her, so I'm able to contact her and perhaps create a meeting here where I would be able to incorporate my program with the curriculum of the American Center and provide it this way. But I see myself as a for-profit collaborating with NGOs.
I mean, that's a tough scaling strategy, right? So you have a personal contact right now for one market, and your plan is not to build up your brand and your reputation and your stats to be acquired for one interesting strategy. It's to keep scaling to other countries where you won't have those personal, right? And back to this price point question, like, I mean, just react, but then also just think about that a little bit.
Well, thank you. I have traveled and I've lived in 5 countries. The other country I was thinking about is Japan. But coming back to Laos, I have lived in other cities and I have contacts with other language learning centers. And this is where it's another opportunity where I see it. I've also worked for NGOs in Laos and Japan. They also have language learning opportunities there where I can see my program not taking over, but being a tool for them to incorporate their curriculum and facilitating that. For Laos, I know for the Google Play Store, the top 10 apps, and the top of those is educational apps. People are paying for educational apps, and so I do see this definitely as a market.
Are you looking at a franchise strategy, perhaps, at a country level? So you're thinking about actually working with developing someone who is licensed to perform some of the individual and personal learning you've mentioned?
Yes. What I'd like to start now is a very focused strategy on something I'm competent and able to lead. I would like to grow this into becoming like a tool where an educator would be like, okay, let's set up a Wasta. Let's have our students in a Wasta. I have my curriculum to feed it in, and I can really see this kind of scaling and growing.
Thank you.
Thank you guys. Appreciate it. Vote for me.